I'm waiting for them to, yep, now we're starting.
Hello everyone, welcome to our first session here in the Central Auditorium. We are very pleased to have Dr. Sharon Kibbe here. She will be telling us a little bit about what North Carolina New Schools are doing to serve students better. So I'm hoping that you will enjoy and learn a lot from this very first session that we have here. Sharon and Maureen, your co-presenter, you have the floor. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much and welcome everyone. I am from East Carolina University, which is in North Carolina, about an hour from the East Coast, and we are the Pirates. Arg! I'm always supposed to start a presentation with that. So I want to welcome everyone here, and I'm going to tell you just a little bit. Yay, North Carolina, that's right. I'm going to tell you just a little bit about the program that we have developed, which is called our Early College Second Life program. I don't know how many of you are familiar with early college high schools, which are physically sited campuses where you have a principal and you have a counselor. Ours is actually done in Second Life, and I'm going to tell you about it as we go along. And I also have Dr. Maureen Ellis, who teaches in the program, and she's going to speak with you at the end. I'm going to paste a URL into chat so that you can play it and watch this video, and then probably give you just a couple of minutes to watch it, and then you'll be able to I'm trying to get to the local chat. I've got so much opened up here. Let's see, Tori, can you post that into local chat for me? And this is a video that we've done, a promotional video that we have done that's actually been developed for the program, and it's one that I show when I go out and give presentations. And this will show you just about 2 minutes of a clip, and I'll wait until you view it, and it's actually on YouTube. And can you guys see that in local chat yet? Okay, great. I see it now. Thank you. So just take a couple minutes to watch that. Thank you, Tori. And as you're watching the video, this was done as a promo of our program so that we could introduce it to people when I go out and do presentations. And someone's asking if you could shout the URL. Thank you, guys. I love all the assistance. So you're watching the video on YouTube. You should be just about finished, and I'm going to go ahead and go through the rest of the slides. So the landscape of our students, what I do is I contact local area districts, school districts, and ask them if they have an early college high school, and even if they do, we offer them our classes. We talk to the counselors about the students that could qualify for our program. And the way we run it is that we have courses that run all week, and the courses that we offer range from Introduction to Computers to Byte, 4390, which is Personal Finance, and I'll show you a list of those in just a couple of minutes. Why is virtual education not happening at the 2-year college level first? We actually have some partnerships with our community colleges, and I'll go into that as I go along with the New Schools project that we were invited to this year. So the students are not necessarily the top in their class. They are of average educational capability. They may need an inspiration, a little nudge. And that was one reason we decided to use Second Life, in that we thought some students would be a little more interested. You know, they are into technology, and East Carolina University had been using Second Life for its regular classes, or regular campus classes, since 2007. So this is a picture of some of the students that we have in our program, and they're actually given presentations in World, which we do require of them. And so the students overall have finished with a 3.4 GPA, which I think now it's a little bit higher. These are some of the courses we offer: English, Sociology, Anthropology, Introduction to Computers, Website Design and Maintenance, which is the one that Dr. Ellis will speak with you about later. We chose these courses based on talking to the school districts and finding out what they wanted for the students and what we felt we could bring in as a college transfer program. So the students do receive dual college credit. We also work with the community colleges to offer courses that they do not. A lot of our students in North Carolina do travel from their high school to a community college to take classes, and we do not want to interfere with any of that. We're just trying to offer options and opportunities to the students that they may not have otherwise. As we know, college is getting so much more expensive in North Carolina. I was just having a conversation with someone this morning about the budgets in North Carolina, and they are being cut. So we have to look at more ways to offer opportunities that are not physically sighted to students. And Second Life was working for us so well at East Carolina University that we started this program in 2009, and we've been doing it ever since. This year, because of our success, based on some of the student comments that you see here, and I'll let you have a second just to read those. This was on one of our teachers. Mr. Hackett is very helpful, and he's a generous teacher. And Mr. Hackett was an English teacher. We were doing English 1100 and 1200, which are our freshman requirements. And he actually made the statement for 2 years that the students in Second Life, in his Second Life class, had higher averages than his students that physically attended his class and were freshmen at East Carolina University. Is that not a great accolade? We think it is. And Mr. Hackett has continued to teach for us. And I know in the previous presenter's presentation you heard about Common Core. Well, this year we will not be able to offer some of our classes because they do not equate to a Common Core class with the changes in the North Carolina curriculum. But we will continue to try to make those arrangements to offer more classes in the future and meet the Common Core requirements. Some of the student projects, they do portfolios, they do presentations, they do designs, they do blogging. This picture you see is a picture of students in the classroom with their avatars. They create an avatar, they come to our early college campus, and then they actually attend classes. So if they're in sociology, they attend Tuesday, Thursday, then they attend another class Wednesday, Friday, which could be Dr. Ellis's website design and maintenance. And then all along the way, the classes changes. So for one semester, they're in 2 classes. The next semester, they're in 2. They join us as juniors. So by the end of their senior year, they can have 24 hours of credit to transfer to a college. And we think that is a pretty good statistics. And they can continue to take classes if their high school lets them with the community college system as well, or into Career and College Promise, which is another program offered in North Carolina this year for students to obtain college credit. So what we want to do is encourage collaboration between educational institutions. We want to provide an innovative approach to rigorous coursework. These classes, as Dr. Ellis will tell you in just a little bit, are not dumbed down in much of any way, except perhaps maybe the late work he accepts sometimes. It also can increase the student potential for success in college. And we don't have tremendous statistics to back that up. This year, we will. We have more students, and I'll tell you about that with the inclusion of the IRIS program. Our academic successes, 73% of our early college Second Life students have been retained in the program, or they are attending ECU, and this is through 2012 statistics. We go back to 11 out of the 18 of our first-year graduates were accepted at ECU, and as far as we know, only 1 did not attend a university. So it's hard to track them if they don't come to ECU. I'm trying to find a way to do that through the University Clearinghouse, but so far haven't been able to track that as well as I would like. 12 out of the 21 seniors were accepted at ECU, and this year that percentage was even higher. So our goal is, yes, we want to become pirates, but most ultimately we want them to attend a university and gain good college credit and get a head start on what it's like to be a college student. All right. The next slide I'm going to show you is the district enrollment. We have had 3 or 4 districts that have been steady with us. So by districts, you can see we have Pitt County, Greene County, Lenoir County, and then we actually had a grant this past year from the Beljar Foundation, and that provided tuition for students. So now I'll talk about the tuition just a little bit. When we first started this program, East Carolina University footed the bill, and that's how we got counties to provide education to their students. The counselors would pick the students, and we would admit them. They are admitted as East Carolina special students in special program categories. They actually get an ECU transcript. They have access to the ECU library, to all the ECU resources. We bring them on our campus for some events whenever we can. And then we also go to the schools. Some of the faculty like to visit the students. They only know them as their avatars for the most part, but they also like to get to know them every now and then. We have an orientation where, if we can, we bring the students to campus one time during the first of the year. So this is our enrollment for this past year. This is our admissions undergraduate application, which they have to fill out. We also have a parent-student orientation. Just to give you the geography of North Carolina, this year I have traveled to Rutherford County, which is about 6 hours away from Greenville. Yesterday I traveled to Hertford County, which is about an hour and a half away. So I do a little bit of a traveling to establish a good relationship with the counties and talk to their students, talk to their parents. We all know some of the bad history Second Life has with griefers, and in education I try to ignore what I call the pixies on the front screen when you go to secondlife.com. So I try to educate the parents on the environment their students are going to be in. Our campus is locked down on those 2 islands. No one else can get to those educational spaces without being admitted by their avatar name. And we monitor the islands daily, and we have a technician on daily as well. This is the enrollment we're expecting this year. We actually are now part of a grant program called the North Carolina IRIS, and it's investing in rural innovative schools, and I'm going to provide some information on that in just a minute. And this is a grant that was provided. New Schools of North Carolina provides all the early college high schools, the physically sighted campuses in North Carolina. And they have been doing this for quite some time, and they have been doing it with great success. So we were very delighted to be a part of this program this year. And they actually came to us because we do this online. They had a need to put it online. They were running out of space on their campuses, and some of the students like our program because they do not have to travel. And this is the purpose of our program, is to keep them in their social events. And there is a link to North Carolina IRIS if you want to read more about that program. They received this grant, and so now we will actually service 11 rural districts and the possibility of 18 high schools. This is huge for us. So this year we have increased to 150 students for the fall. We had 74 last year, and we will increase it in the spring. The grant is for another 3 years, so each year we will bring more of the counties into our program. And you can see here, I have Lenoir County. This is just a screenshot, quick screenshot, who will be taking website design and maintenance with Dr. Ellis. We have personal finance, introduction to computers, and these are just some of our student counts. What gets to be a little bit of an issue is finding a way to manage all of this. Finding a way to fit slots. Be sure each county, yes, thank you, it is a great program. I love it. If you can't tell, I'm so enthusiastic about it. So the students have to be in a Monday-Wednesday class or a Wednesday-Friday class, and then they have to do the alternate days. We try to leave one day for them to do their to do their work and catch up, because college does require additional work during the evenings. So most of the students, we encourage them always to have laptops, and we have been able to supply laptops to some of the counties that do not have the funds to do it. So also with this grant, the schools are receiving a support person, someone to go to, which will be a great help to me and my staff, because it's going to get a little bit hard to answer all the instant messages we'll get during the day for support. And typically these classes are held during first period. I forgot to mention that as well. And they are on the East Carolina University schedule. So another issue, how do you work it into the high school schedule? We found out it's best to keep them on the university schedule, and then the faculty have a chance to alternate their break days if they so choose. So we leave that in the hands of the faculty. How many jobs are in output? We're not sure yet. We just had our first graduates go out this past May, so that is something that we will be tracking as well. I would like to say, though, that I hire student workers, and one of the student workers I had this past year to help with Second Life projects and the early college high school was actually a graduate, our first graduate of our program. And she was so excited to come and teach some of the students how to use Second Life and be able to help them with the program as well. I like to educate them about Second Life, so I always talk about Second Life and what it's done in the past. I enjoyed sharing this the other day with Hertford. And thanks for supplying that link, and showing them what else Second Life is besides a place to go party and dance and some of the other venues that are in here, and that their students can be in a place that's secure for them. This is just ECU contacts. The Senior Associate Provost, Dr. Austin Bunch, could not be here today. He does have an avatar that I created for him, and he says he looks like Johnny Depp, so he's not quite sure he fills those shoes, but we know we can be anything we want to be in here. Paul Lemire also was supposed to be here. He is out sick today, and he was sorry that he had to miss it. He was going to tell you a little bit about his job, which is really kind of looking after the kids and the students. He logs in every day of every class. He's a resource for the faculty and the students. So now I am so glad to be able to offer him help through the IRIS program so that he is able to get some outreach as well for him. We do have to work through the networking issues. I forgot to mention that, and then I'm going to turn it over to Maureen. So just some of the things you have to work through. Second Life is treated in public high schools as a social media. They don't allow sound, so we have to work with the technicians in the school, each school system and district, to clear sound and to allow the program and clear the proper ports. So we have a checklist of things that are must-dos before we even start school, which will begin August 20th with 150 students. And as we've sat here, I've also had another email from another county, and they want to add an additional 10 students. So it took us about 3 years to get really off the ground. We are glad to be pushing forward this year because I think this is a great way to offer education to students. Maureen, would you like to tell them a little bit about your class now?
Sure. Can everybody hear me now? Okay. Well, thank you, Sharon, for telling everybody about Second Life, and especially with the Early College Second Life program. And this past semester, I taught a web course design and maintenance for the Early College High School program. Now, I have been teaching in the graduate school and undergrads for about 15 years, and I haven't been in a high school classroom for probably 25 years. So it was quite an experience. Sharon is right. We are teaching college classes, but we are teaching high school students. So really, you have to take a step back and look at who you are as a teacher and really what you want to convey to the students, because even though you are teaching a college-level class, you are still teaching 17-year-old high school kids with a 17-year-old mentality. I do require my students to raise themselves up to the level of a college student, but they do have different requirements and there are different expectations in the sense that they have to deal with high school issues as opposed to the students dealing with college issues and having to go out on their own, live by themselves, get themselves up, get themselves a class, eat by themselves. The high school kids are still dealing with cheerleading and basketball and baseball and dance team. I mean, you get the idea, all of the different things they have to deal with, and Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And I would get ready to start class, and I would get Dr. Ellis, we need to listen to the morning report. Dr. Ellis, can I be excused? I'm going to, I was invited to Raleigh to do a speech for Hispanic Americans. Well, of course I'm going to let them go for things like that. In college, you just don't have to deal with things like that. So you have to learn to kind of go with the flow a little bit more. As Sharon said, sometimes you have to take a moment to sit back and go and meet the students. I found it was very advantageous to take a day off. I went during my spring break, and Sharon and I went down and sat with the students and spoke to them personally. It gave the students who were having difficulty in the class an opportunity to see who I was and ask me any question they wanted. That worked out really well from spring break going forward. We did follow the ECU schedule, and during their spring break, I made optional classes. They were help days, where the students who didn't go away for spring break, they could come into class and have one-on-one tutorials, and that helped tremendously. I'm reteaching the exact same class this fall, and I'm going to take greater advantage of some of the opportunities in Second Life. I think the first go-around, you're just trying to figure out what you're doing, what needs to be taught, and how to teach it. And this second semester, I'm doing things very differently. Because the one thing I found more than anything is it's important to get the kids up and moving. And getting the kids out and looking around Second Life. When you have them playing around and collaborating, they seem much happier. So, let's see, I'm trying to think what else worked out really well. I'm trying to teach a very abstract idea, such as web design. I can give lots of tutorials on how to create and how to do. But until the students can get in there and actually see what they have created, many of the concepts were very abstract. So I think one thing that I need to do differently this semester is get them actually creating web pages quicker and getting them to see very quickly what they've created. So, we're working on a different process this semester, and I think the first one, I was exhausted. It is absolutely exhausting feeling like you're back in a high school classroom. And it's just being on for an hour and a half each day. It's different than being in a college classroom, but I absolutely loved it. I love the students, and I'm looking forward to doing it again.
Thank you, Maureen, very much. I appreciate your input. And Maureen is very modest. She has done just an excellent job in taking on these students. They are a little different, as she said. They do give her a ton of excuses. We hear everything. Forget the dog ate your homework. And any of you that teach in Second Life know that. It's everything from, oh, my computer was updating, my computer wouldn't boot up. And for that reason, we actually have these students in the schools in a lab, and most of them are supposed to have a facilitator, so I wanted to address that for just a minute. They're in a lab with a facilitator provided by the school district. One of the schools we did have a little bit of a problem with this year was because they didn't use that setup, and they divided the students out between faculty and instructors that were having work time. So they divided their juniors and seniors up into 4 different groups, and these groups went into different rooms. We think the strength of this program, too, is to be working in cohorts. Yes, you're right. The students are a whole other client. It's very helpful for them to be in the same room together so they can talk about what they're learning, what they're doing, if they have a problem. So we found that this didn't work. And believe it or not, some of the students, about 4 of them, Maureen, didn't come to class for a couple of sessions or more. And we found that they were just going in, pretending they were working, and not attending school as they should. And this was about the only time we had any issues like that. So now I am very adamant when I visit a school system to say that these students have to be in a room, they have to have support, and they have to have someone that will peek over their shoulder every now and then. Yes, it is a good call. They still, as Maureen said, are high school students. They get distracted easily, and someone still does need to call them to task every now and then. We do keep up with them. We keep up with their grades. We send progress reports to the high schools. And we have to deal with, does anyone know what a helicopter parent is? We deal with those at ECU, and we've named them, and I'm sorry if you're one of them. Yes, helicopter parents kind of hover over. They don't mind contacting you if their student is not doing what they expect, and to find out why. And, you know, a lot of times it's your fault until you explain what your expectations were and how many emails you sent to the student. And although we're not allowed to discuss grades and that type of information. Yes, the email and phone calls. They continue to come. And I will have to say some of the worst parents are the ones that work in one of the school systems and feel that they can contact us. So let's see, we're at 11:30, and I think we're probably finishing a little bit early. I could talk about this program all day long. We do have a website, and we have a lot of information. We're still working through some of the kinks. We do not have this down pat by any means. Oh, yes, he's lazy is not usually what they want to hear, definitely. Yes, they do not. And Maureen is right, too. It does help to visit the schools every now and then. And this year we're going to offer Saba Centra, a video. It's just a web conferencing platform, so that we have a method of providing orientations and talking to the students as well, where you can actually see their face and they can see yours. We don't find that works in the long run because with Second Life we do a lot of simulations. We do a lot of games. We do a lot of interactivities. Maureen has them up and putting up their own boards and showing their presentations that way. We also require that the students speak and that they learn speaking skills. So for each of our classes, they have to speak to the presentation. To see faces in webcams, maybe do it just once. Yes, it is important sometimes to see faces. And I guess I get that opportunity more than the faculty do because I do travel to the schools. We are going to try to do that just with web conferencing. With the way we're spread out across the state this year, that would be a little tough. Also, displaying the virtual world analytics and metrics. I usually do it. We are developing a new website this year to do some of that. I also work with our institutional planning and research team, and we have goals that we're setting and information that we're doing. We have counters and information on our islands to pull some analytics to be sure who's around, how long they stay, how long the students stay logged in. So this year we are really going to be putting forth a lot of effort. The grant requires probably more statistics than we have kept. And I will have to say that it's not that we haven't wanted to keep statistics. Our population has been probably not what it could be to give good analytics, but also, it is me and Paul. I will have to say that. And I don't always have the time and commitment I should to assessment, and I hope to remedy that this year.
Sharon,
Charters
you brought up a really good point about the attendance piece. We learned an important, the reason they changed the way we do attendance, that one school where the students were divided up in 4 groups and they didn't always have a supervisor in the room. We had students who were coming in for attendance, but we couldn't tell that they were actually sticking around. And Paul is very bright. He's the one who came up with the tracking device, and now he can tell exactly what the avatars are doing. So now we know that the students are actually staying in the classroom and doing what they're supposed to be doing instead of slipping out of the room, because we don't want them getting in trouble during school. It's good for the program for them to be learning, and it's good for them to be sitting in the classroom.
Yes, and you asked about charter schools. We do have more charter schools this year, and we are getting more private schools as well. We have offered this program to private schools and charter schools. In fact, I get called probably once a month about wanting to get other students in. Right now what we do is we take payment from the grant, and we take payment from the school districts that are not in the grant. The school districts get this, parents pay the tuition and the books. So it's a good selling point for students, right? You go to a presentation and you tell a parent that your student's going to get 24 hours of paid college tuition that increases every year. The parents really encourage the students to get in it. Some of them push them toward it, and I would have if I'd had this opportunity. So it is paid for by the districts. The books are ordered by the districts. So they do have a huge investment in this, and they want the students to do well. The charter schools and the private schools that have contacted us say they do not have the funds this year to start. We will keep contact with them, and they are going to probably start the program up requesting the parents pay the tuition. It is a less tuition amount than what they would pay when they come to ECU, because we run this through our distance education model. So we charge our distance education model tuition and our distance education fees. And again, we take counties that are not in the grant program as well as counties that are in the grant program this year, and that is why we have seen some growth. Nice heat map example. Thank you again. Does anyone have any other questions? So we appreciate you coming, and I hope, is there a way you can help? A professional development for our instructors. Some of our instructors actually had been teaching in Second Life. Maureen had already been doing what I call our regular curriculum in Second Life as well. We did the other day get all the faculty together for lunch and kind of go through some of the things that we're going to be doing this year, and going through the faculty, and they get to talk to each other, which is great, because some of them tell each other what they're doing with gaming and simulations. Yes, I have on the day that they do not have class, one of the mornings, we have counselors come in, we have admissions come in, we have guest speakers, we have people from our honors college come in, tell them about special programs. So yes, we have a lot of information that we provide to the students. Do we provide alternatives? This is face-to-face. We're requested of that by the counties because these students want to hear a lecture from faculty members. They do not want to be on Blackboard. They have that alternative. When I was at Hertford County the other day, there were probably 56 students and parents, 56 students with their parents in the room. They were offered an online version through another institution, and they were offered our program, and we received the majority of the students because they get to talk to faculty. They get to virtually see faculty. And let's see, another question. Would you ever open up those to other instructors doing their work in virtual worlds? That would be a Maureen question. Maureen, would you share your curriculum? Would you share your knowledge that you've learned? I think she probably would.
Definitely.
All right, thank you for that. And yes, we do not have a direct letter that explains the program to the parents. I have a brochure, and I would be glad to send that to anyone. You can email me. I'll send you my email information. We have brochures. We have PowerPoint presentations. Yes, we use Blackboard. We used Moodle the past couple of years. We're going to move to Blackboard this year because it actually has a Starfish program now that's been installed, which will keep track of the students and reports to the students of when they are behind in work. Maureen, are you going to use Starfish this year when you enter your grades? And
yeah. I use it regularly with my campus classes.
Thank you. And we are going to use that, and they store all their documents in it. They keep grades in there, and that's where I can also go in and pull grades to send to the districts because they do require progress reports. We moved away from Moodle simply because most of the faculty were using Blackboard, and our Moodle platform was not being updated with any of the new Moodle modules, so we decided to go to Blackboard this year. And no, I didn't know about the Third Life competitors. I will check that out as well. I think I've covered most of the questions in Second Life. The other thing we're working toward this year is to providing a certificate to the students so that they have something that says, I've completed 18 hours of college level coursework or 24 hours of college level coursework. And Second Life has been our mode of choice. We are also looking at other platforms, and we're doing that because, as you know, we depend on Linden Labs a lot. We do worry all the time about stability and continuing in this area. So we are looking at OpenSim. We have looked into Reaction Grid, Unity. Oh gosh, Cloudy. We are checking out things, and we're developing a spreadsheet of comparison. And we send, and Jibe, yes. Sorry, I'm losing the names of all of them. And I do have myself, Paul, and a couple of student workers that investigate, and we go in and add to the spreadsheet all the time. Oh, sorry, Stone, relogging for the 4th time. Yay, we've stayed in. XR Grid, I'll add that to the list. Thank you very much. All right. Let me see if I've missed any questions. Yes, Unity is one that we have looked at extensively, and we will keep on investigating. Right now, Second Life suits our needs, particularly for the next year. We won't move to anything with all the students that we're trying to get into the program and get used to the logistics of that as well. And we do worry about lag. We actually rented another island this year, and I do want to give a kudos to New Media Consortium. We rent through them so that they deal with Linden Labs for us. It's been great. We've been there with them since the beginning, and they provide us some support. And if we have issues, then they have like a tunnel to Linden Lab, and they get back to us very quickly. Yes, they have been great. Dr. Larry Johnson and his staff have just been wonderful. And they continue the educational pricing for us, by the way, which is another reason we were able to stay. I think I've covered all the questions about leasing contact info for them, yes. So I think we're about to wrap it up. I don't want to overrun my time and have time for the next presenter to test their voice. Yay. Oh, question I missed. Which one was that? Oh, with the volunteer situation. Are you volunteering to help us with our program? That would be great. We do run into issues of having enough staff sometimes, and so I ask for additional student workers. Okay, I'll check that out as well. I do ask for additional student workers. With the budgets the way they are, I have had to beg to keep them this year. Oh, okay, yes, and I'll read about the vendor lock-in as well. I have asked for students to come in and work. We tried doing someone that wasn't physically located here before, and it just didn't quite work out for, not me. I thought it was working well, but we still have some that feel positions need to be landlocked. And that was what was the decision was made for this program, is we had to be physically at East Carolina University. All right. Yes, if you would like to sit on a class, just contact me. Maureen, would you like to give your email as well?
Sure.
LSM, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, if you would like to sit in on a class, we would add you to our islands, and you would be able to come in and view our classes. They will be Monday through Friday this year. And we actually had someone that's wanted second period, so we'll be having some classes up to 11 o'clock this year. No, we have not adapted to the education grid from Boston University. I do try to keep up with things that are going on. So at times I may ask to go into the virtual platform. I know not everyone here is doing Second Life. So if you have something going in another sim, just send it to me in email, and I would love to take a peek at it. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. We enjoyed giving the presentation. And for teaching tips in Second Life, you can contact Maureen. Thank you.